Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is decide where you want to install this. I have two options on the repo. I have bare metal, and then I also have it for Docker. I would recommend Docker. It allows you to do a couple other things once you set it up in Docker, and it's more secure. So important note there, especially if you're using this for any kind of client work and accessing their data, things of that nature. So download Docker Desktop. It's free. The free account is all you'll need. Okay. Clone the GitHub repo, stand up the container, and you're going to come to the splash screen here. This is where we're going to create our account. You have a couple options here. You can stand up, you can one-click deploy an instance of n8n right within the Docker container now. If you have an instance already running, you can connect that. I have a place if you want to host it on a VPS, like a DigitalOcean or Hostinger or somewhere like that. It'll walk you through getting that set up as well with all the documentation. This I have not tested yet, so I'm looking for people to test this. Is the cloud account, so the n8n.io, their cloud service. I might just have to sign up for an account just so I can test it. But for this video, we're going to stand it up. One-click install. This is why I designed this, to make it really, really easy to stand up an instance. And that's why I integrated Docker within the UI here in the application. So you have a couple options here. And I have a couple templates here already built in. Feel free to add some. This is a community-based application. I love to see what people are going to build on top of this. So fork it, customize it, add some things you think would be interesting. I'm really excited to see where this goes. We can stand up Postgres, Mongo, Redis, Qdrant, Ollama, Flowise, Minio. So lots of different things here. But for right now, we're just going to do the n8n. And we're going to hit deploy stack. So it's going to pull the latest container and pull it down and stand it up. Couple things you're going to want to set up. You can do this now. You can also do it later. I'm going to choose to do it right now, walk you guys through it. And we are going to add a couple of API keys in here so that we can connect the AI agents within AgeniusDesk. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Claude here. I'm going to create a key. Add that. We're going to copy that key here. We're going to go back to AgeniusDesk. We're going to go to Anthropic key. Boom. Paste that. And we're going to go to OpenAI. We're going to do the same thing. Copy that. We'll pop it in here. And then I'm also going to use OpenRouter. OpenRouter is a models market. One API key gives you access to a bunch of different stuff. So we're going to go in here and we're going to add another key here. Boom. We're going to copy that and we're going to drop that in here. And we're going to hit next. That's going to save all of them. If you want to add more, you have the option to add as many as you want right here. So I'm going to add all three of those so we don't have to do it later. The AI assistant, we're going to set that up later. I don't really set it up in here, and just next through that. All right, so next what it's going to do is now we're going to connect that instance of n8n that we just created. So we're going to open it up first. We're going to set this account up. Next. Okay, click through this real quick. Now you definitely want them to send you a free license key because this unlocks a couple things. So go ahead and click that for your email address. So to connect this, you're going to create another API key for n8n. So you're going to go down here to your settings, go to n8n API, create API key, and we're going to call this AGD CE. Oops. And your choice. This is security. I recommend 30 days. I recommend rotating your keys every 30 days just to be security conscious. So now that we have that created, we're going to go in here and we're going to drop that in here. Now, one thing to note, if you're running this in Docker, you're going to want to use your local LAN IP address. If you don't know how to find that, you can go into terminal and type ipconfig/all, or on Windows. If you're on Mac, it's ifconfig. So my is 10.10.0.15, and this is the port that it listens on, and we're going to connect. All right, so now that we've connected that instance, it's going to automatically install the error handler workflow. So this is a workflow that monitors the executions API for errors and then surfaces them on the dashboard. So we're going to install that. And you see, boom, now we have our first workflow, our global error handler. We have our instance connected. So we are ready to rock and roll. So now what, right? Well, let's go through the overview first. So the overview here, this is where your main stats are going to live. It's widget based. You can add and subtract stuff. You can drag these around. It's going to show you how many workflows you have in that instance. It's going to show you how many of them are actually active, your failure rate, and how many executions, and the percentage of success. This is going to be your execution timeline, and you'll see when I connect this next instance of n8n that I actually use, I have a lot of executions on there. It's one of my production instances. You'll see this populate, as well as the workflows. This is going to list all of your active workflows, and it's going to let you know if there's been any recent errors. So, lots of visual observability here. And this here is going to be a list of all your recent errors, and instances here are where you manage your instances. So as you go through these pages, there's going to be pop-up bubbles that are going to, kind of give you hints about what the page is about. So go through those for sure. This is your instance management. So this is where you're going to add instances. If you stood your instance up in Docker, like we just did here, you can also auto update it from here. So if there's a new version of n8n, you can come right in here. You can click update. It'll pull the new version. It'll update it for you. Super easy. I try to make this one click and as easy as possible for everyone to use. But right now we're going to stand up or connect my other production instance, which is right here. I have a bunch of workflows in here. So how we're going to do that, we're going to add an instance, Genius prod production. Now, again, I use IP addresses just because it's always best, especially when you're working local. And we're going to go ahead and create an API key for this one. Copy that back over here and paste it and connect. Bam. Now you see a Genius production is connected. So now I can just switch between them. And there we go. Now all of the data populates and you can see what we're talking about here. Okay. Recent errors, right? All my workflows, the execution timeline. Each one of these, I can drill right in to that particular execution and see if it failed or not. This is going to show me all of my active workflows. And this is on the workflows tab. We'll go over that in a minute. So yeah, that's the overviews, right? That's how to connect an instance. That's how to update an instance. So let's go into the workflows tab now, right? So this by default is going to show you all of your active workflows. You can toggle this off and view all of your ones that aren't published, but active on is just going to show you all of your published ones. You can actually import workflows from here. And the good thing about this is you can drill into these executions, right? So all of your executions here, you can drill into and you can hit the Ask AI. But before we do that, we have to configure our models. So we're going to jump ahead a little bit and we're going to go to the model configuration. So here I can choose any of those I set up earlier, right? We're going to go with, let's see, for OpenAI, we're going to use Codex 5.3. And we're going to use our OpenAI key. And that comes from our encrypted secrets. We're going to test and load the models. Bam, you can see it's connected, right? And we're going to save. So that is for our code lab model. Error triage, we can pick a different model. So this is going to be a cheaper model. We don't really need to run an expensive coding model just to triage some errors. We can run Haiku. And we're going to connect that to our Anthropic key. Test and load. Boom. Okay, now that's working. And then we have our just regular chat model. We'll use GPT 4.1 mini for this because it's super cheap. Boom. Okay, all those are set up now. So let's go back to our workflows. let's go to our engagement tracker here. Now I have an Ask AI button here, which will actually triage errors for you. Give you root cause analysis, suspected fixes. So it goes pretty deep. So you can get insights into the errors. Also, what you can do, you can unpublish, you can delete. So n8n doesn't expose a delete anymore. They just have an archive. So you can, when you're trying to remove workflows, you end up archiving them, and you'll have a bunch of archived workflows in your database. So I actually plugged into the delete API, so you can delete those if you want. You have the ability, if it's not a webhook trigger on your workflow already, you have the ability to add one from here. So you can trigger the workflow and test it in the dashboard. You can also open the workflow directly in here as well. So that's kind of what you can do here on the workflows tab. Pretty powerful stuff. Executions and errors. Again, this is just going to be like a detail of all your recent errors. You can click into here. Same thing. You can hit Ask AI and triage it. You can clear the errors so they don't, once you fix it, you can clear them out so you don't have to see those sitting around. Timeline, you can, view errors over the last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days. It's all pretty self-explanatory here. Instances, again, this is your instance management. If you stood one up in the local Docker environment, you can update it. This instance I have running on a VM on my Proxmox cluster here. I can't auto update it from here. I actually have to update that from the VM. So that's a limitation there. But as long as you're standing these up within the Docker, you can update them right from here. This is your containers. So this is actually where you can manage those Docker containers in here. You can start, you can stop them, you can restart them, you can recreate them and pull the latest. You can destroy them, whatever you want to do. So full Docker management. All right, Code Lab. So this is pretty cool. This is where you can edit code nodes, create code nodes, work with AI. Here's your model here. You have two options here. You've got code builder and you've got a workflow builder. So this is building workflows with AI. You describe what you want and it'll build the workflow for you. And we're going to do a quick little form to email. I got some, these are just examples. They're super simple, but this is pretty cool. Form to email. It's like a 3 or 4 node workflow. Super easy. All right, as you can see, it created the workflow JSON in here. Now I have my new instance that I stood up active, and now I can just import that right into that workflow. Now, if you see here, I've got another workflow in here. And if I go back to my overview, now I have 2 workflows. So I can inject those from the code lab right into n8n. There's also a prompt builder. If you're trying to build out, a detailed prompt for some agents, there is a prompt builder in here that can help structure it properly for you. I also have fallback models everywhere. So if something doesn't work, you do have the ability to set a fallback model on every one of the model, settings pages. Harness. So this is a sandboxed file system that all of your agents within here have access to. So this you're free to build on and create an agent harness. My personal instance of AgeniusDesk, I also have LangGraph agents integrated into it and Pydantic agents integrated into it. So this is really, really powerful. It's a place where you can save all of your agents.md, your claude.md files, anything you need, research, your shared stuff, documents, agent configurations, anything, it's kind of like an Obsidian vault. You can also connect MCP servers, RAG databases, and things like that here too. Models, we kind of went over this earlier. So every section has its own model choice. You can use separate models for the code lab, separate models for error triage, and separate model for just the general assistant chat. MCP servers. So this is where you have the ability to connect MCP servers within this environment. Comes with two already pre-configured, and that's the basic n8n MCP server, and then the harness MCP server, which controls the workspace, read, write, and append and search, archive access, and that stuff. I highly recommend grabbing the official n8n MCP server here and connecting it, especially in the code lab, because this is really, really powerful when it comes to giving your agents a lot of knowledge on how to create n8n workflows. I use this religiously. It's one of the best ones out there. I'll link it in the comments. Secret store. So this is another really cool thing. It's fully encrypted. You can store all of your secrets in here, but the really, really cool thing is, so again, on your active instance, I can sync this to n8n. Anthropic API credential, I can mirror that to this instance now. Now, if I go into my credentials, you can see I've actually mirrored that credential right into n8n too. So you can inject your secrets as credentials into your instance of n8n too. So just, another neat little feature that kind of lets you centrally manage this stuff. Insights, again, this is going to be more insights here. Let's switch to the live view. So, just more workflow, insights, and visibility into what's going on within your workflow. Admin, this is all your account setup, your dashboard users, your n8n users. You can, add n8n users as well as AgeniusDesk dashboard users here. Import, so this is cool. If you have a workflow JSON, if you find a template online or anything you want to do with that, you can import them directly into either instance you have hooked up here. You can title them, you can tag them, super easy. And then same thing on the back end, backup and export. So this lets you back up active only, all your workflows. You can download just one massive backup, or you can go and do them individually. And it also gives you the ability to restore from backups as well. So backing up your work is very, very important. And this is your main settings tab. So this has pretty much everything we covered over here. A couple other things. There's themes. We have a bunch of different themes you can choose from. This is component based, so module based. So I encourage people to build modules on top of this. There is a plugin for it. So these modules will plug right in. Everything is in the repo to explain that. I'm going to be releasing one here probably tomorrow for this. So excited to see what people build. But the settings screen, you can go to your instances, you can get to your MCP servers, you can get to your model settings, your secrets, your themes, your error handler stuff. Anything you need is your settings screen. And then, because I'm sure a lot of people on n8n are vibe coding, and I love music, I've built in a really robust music player that lets you connect to any kind of different servers you want. Embeddings, Plex, Jellyfin, SoundCloud, Spotify, you name it, you can connect to it. Because I know me, I'm always listening to music while I'm working and coding. And then we've got our themes. So light, it's obnoxious. And of course I had to do the n8n colors just because, love this platform. It's where I got started. So that is AgeniusDesk in a nutshell. I'm sure there's a lot more, but that's the overview. That's how you get it set up. I'm curious to see how you guys use it, what you guys think of it, and what the community builds on top of it. Really exciting. Any questions, please drop them in the comments. Pull requests, anything like that. Feature requests, submit it all through GitHub. I will be working on this actively. And thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. Again, if you like these videos, please subscribe. I'm going to start doing a lot more content based around, automation building and more tiered towards beginners, but I'm going to do some advanced stuff too. So thank you for your time, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope it proves useful. Try to break it so we can make it better. Thanks. Peace.